बैक टू माई चैनल. मेरा नाम मान्या है and I live in Delhi. I make videos of lifestyle, travel and food. So please take a minute to subscribe to the channel. Today I am at a place जहाँ का नाम सुन के लोगों की रूह कांप जाती है. ज़्यादा बोल दिया. बट सच में कांप जाती है अगर आप यहाँ पे रात को 3-4 बजे आओ. आई एम एट मालचा महल. टाइटल आपने पढ़ लिया होगा. यहाँ पे रात को 3-4 बजे अराउंड मैंने जितने लोगों के ब्लॉग देखे और दोस्तों का सुना है, लड़के आते हैं स्कूटी पे. हमें कहाँ हम लड़कियों को रात को ऐसे भेजेंगे. बट स्कूटी पे ऐसे रात को एक ऐसे एरिया बंद भी कर देते हैं. यू कैन नॉट विजिट मालचा महल. द डेली टूरिज्म स्टार्टेड दिस हॉन्टेड हेरिटेज वॉक विच इज़ ऑफ 1000 रुपीज़ पर पर्सन, जिसमें ये 5:30 to 7 like 1.5 hour की वॉक होती है, जिसमें हम पूरा जंगल घूमेंगे एंड इवन विल सी द मालचा महल. बट दिस हैपन्स ओनली ऑन सैटरडेज एंड संडेज ऑन ग्रुप डिमांड्स. हाँ जी. सो टू बुक इट आप dailytourism.gov.in पे जाके देखो, मेरी दिल्ली मोबाइल ऐप है, इस पे इसको बुक करा सकते हैं. एंड आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट द कॉस्टिंग 1000 पर पर्सन एंड कैन शो देम आउटपुट. बात करिए.
कहाँ से होता है ये उल्टा?
And that is how I'm dressed for the walk. Not like a princess, of course. Come, let's join the group.
Okay, so this is our tour guide who's gonna tell you the story of Malcha briefly throughout this video, so do concentrate on whatever he says.
Then progressively I got disillusioned of the corporate world and I thought of exploring myself by becoming an entrepreneur, and therefore began that journey of introspection and following one's calling. And then I became a corporate coach. I am a corporate coach now and a heritage walk enthusiast, as you can see. And a great votary for our handloom and handicraft tradition, as you can see. And when you get time to think about yourself, you also start thinking of doing those things which once upon a time you did as a small child or as a kid or during growing up. So I was always fascinated with languages, so now I'm learning multiple languages like French, Arabic, German, Spanish. And in the lockdown I learned how to write and read Urdu as well. And we are in the midst of this green lung that we call the Delhi Ridge. And how interesting it is that just as you step out of that gate, you enter into the civilization, and that's the diplomatic enclave, Chanakyapuri, and high-end residential area. And right in the middle of that hustle and bustle, उस भीड़ के बीचों बीच ये जगह है, and that gate almost serves as a like a portal. Those of you who read Harry Potter or other things, you know what I'm saying. So it's almost like through a portal you enter this forested area and you're transported into a completely different feeling and environment. So as you can see, compare the two. So this is the green lung of Delhi. It helps us keep the temperatures in check, and this actually forms part of the northern part of the Aravalli ranges, which start from Rajasthan and go up till Haryana. These trees, can you see these trees? These twisted, topsy-turvy branch trees. These are actually the gift, or should I call the curse of the British, because it's actually a pest species. It's from Mexico. This is not even Indian, and it's a very invasive species because it has led to the destruction of the indigenous plants and trees. So it's called the Vilayati Kikar, as they say. Coming to the point that Malcha Mahal, a hunting lodge or a haunted place, it adds to that spooky aura, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If the trees were in one line, they were all manicured and like that, this place would not have got those that spooky vibe to it, right? So it adds to that. And so what we're going to do is that we'll walk and talk as we go along, and you can keep asking me questions whenever it pops up in your head. Okay? Chalo, let's go. Various species of birds, because we can already see a lot of butterflies fluttering around. And we have not really even entered, we can still see Sardar. But historically it has been proved that it is definitely a hunting lodge. And this hunting lodge is from the 14th century, and it was built by Sultanate era Tughlaq king by the name of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. And he was fond of game and hunting. शिकार का उसे बड़ा शौक था, तो ये शिकार गाह उसने बनवाया था. So there is a legend also associated with it. It's just a legend, it's not historic proof that he was here, the emperor, for hunting, and he got lost. He lost because it was a very thick forest, and there was this mysterious gypsy girl who eventually he fell in love with, as normally happens in Hindi films. And to commemorate that lost love, because he then finally lost her, so he built this Malcha Mahal in her memory. But that's one of the legends. It's a myth, but when it's there, so let's talk about. Regarding the haunted part, story is related to a family which came here suddenly in the 70s, and that lady, her name was Begum Wilayat Mahal. She claimed to be the descendant, the last surviving descendant of the Nawab of Awadh, Wajid Ali Shah, who was banished from Lucknow to Calcutta in 1856 in anticipation that he might be a major power to worsen the revolt which the British saw coming in 1857. So they thought of shunting him out before it even begins. So his entire family was exiled to Calcutta, and they stayed in a place called Metia Burj. It's still there. They say they created literally a mini Lucknow there. So, by the way, Metia Burj literally means Mitti ka Burj. So Metia, Mitti. And so it was like a couple of palatial buildings for them to give them a feeling of. This photograph is actually from the VIP lounge of New Delhi railway station. So you can see carpets and some pottery at the background. Can you see? So after a certain period of time from the New Delhi railway station, she was allocated this ruined place as a place to stay. In fact, she chose it. Can you believe it? So we'll keep talking about that story, and we'll uncover each layer as it comes. Okay. So we were on the part where I showed you the picture of the scary looking Begum in that picture sitting on her carpets and other things in the VIP lounge of platform number 1 of New Delhi railway station. And can you believe it? For how long they would have stayed there? She and her 2 children. Any guesses? 3 months? Anybody else?
1 year.
1 year? Anybody else? Any wild guess?
15 years.
Oh, that's really wild.
50 years.
50 years हुआ भी नहीं है.
10 years.
Oh man, still a big
10
time.
years she stayed there, and that's another story why. But basically what she was trying to do by occupying, or rather forcibly occupying and squatting on that platform was, she said कि हमारे साथ बड़ा बुरा हुआ, हमारे को बेदखल कर दिया गया, लखनऊ फेंक दिया हमारे पूर्वजों को, and we were literally paupers overnight. We landed up on the streets, and we were rolling in wealth, and suddenly this happened to us, and the British government, she held it responsible. And then she said that when the Indian government came, they also did not give us a property befitting our status. We were royals, so they should have given us an accommodation or a place which befitted our royal stature. Even that didn't happen. So मैं तो यहाँ धरना देने, so she sat there as a dharna, and that so-called public protest lasted for 10 years. So suddenly in early 70s she landed up there, and very strange that she had 15 servants with her, some 15-20 dogs with her to add to that entourage. And she always used to wear black sari, and around 2 or 3 in the night she would be suddenly mysteriously walking up and down the platform with her sari blowing in the wind and the moon shining on her face, half her face covered with her hair. And so she cut a very strange sight, and people who were coming out of the trains, they used to get spooked. Who's this woman? And therefore the legend started building that there's something sinister, something dangerous, something scary about her. She would not meet any Indian press, surprisingly, right from the beginning. While they were there and while they were here, they never met any Indian press. They always wanted to correspond with the foreign press, because somehow she had this thing that if I could internationalize this issue, if I could make it a global affair, global news, I would get more attention to the issue that I'm trying to highlight here. She insisted that only people should approach me with written questions. I will not speak to them. Tabhi hum jawab denge and all that. And the servants used to walk. They were not allowed to walk like we walked in front of her while serving her tea or something. They used to kneel down and walk on their knees whenever they used to approach her. And the kids were very much dominated by the mother. The correspondent said that they were more loyal than the dogs that she had. So they didn't have a voice of their own. She belonged to a very rich family. The historians of the day say that she was not who she claimed she was. She was not a descendant. She was at best an imposter. She was peddling a story which was not true, and maybe she lost her mind somewhere, because during the partition she did not want to go to Pakistan, while her husband, who was a rich diplomat, he wanted to go to Pakistan. So somewhere that partition trauma really affected her sanity, and she ended up in the asylum in Lahore. She stayed there in the mental hospital. The British had decided that the capital will be shifted from Kolkata or Calcutta to a place which they started calling New Delhi, because there was nothing called New Delhi till 1931. Only in 1931 a new city came up, which took 20 years to build. Somewhere in the 60s, the Lalit Kala Academy. Are you aware of the Lalit Kala Academy? Anyone? Yeah. So basically, it's an art academy which focuses on various performing arts, paintings, dances, and all that. So they took it because it was, see, it's in the middle of a beautiful forest. The painters would love to use it as a painting studio. So it was used as a painting studio for almost 10 years. Now Mrs. Gandhi intervened and she went and met her at the railway station and she said, why are you creating this public tamasha? What do you want after all? So then she said that, again, that same story, that something wrong was done and Indian government was no better than the British, look how we are suffering. So she said, my father accommodated you in Srinagar, what else could we do? He got you back from Lahore and you were suffering in Pakistan. We could do as best as we could. Now, for some reason, that palace got burnt and so anyway, I'm going to show you a couple of places, and this Malcha Mahal was at that time with Lalit Kala Academy. So it was not as if it was lying in ruins like that. Of course it was in ruins, but it wasn't being used also. So and the location is what the Begum liked. It is right in the middle of the diplomatic enclave. She can reach out to embassies, she can reach out to the foreign press. It is very private and yet public. How close we are from the center of Delhi. And we are right in the middle of the heart of Delhi, next to the power center, and yet into a very private cocoon. So she liked this location. The location actually is what she liked. And then she stayed here from 85 onwards. Her two children stayed here and till the younger son died in 2017, which is almost 30-35 years, they stayed here. So it's quite interesting. How could they stay here? When you'll see and we'll get to know how did they stay, you'll be yourself quite surprised at how could they do that. Now we are still on that part where the Begum is squatting on the platform and she would not move. Interestingly, since she was Shia and Lucknow is a Shia stronghold and everything becomes a political cannon fodder very soon. तो इलेक्शंस आ रहे थे तो वहाँ के सीएम को बड़ी चिंता हुई कि भाई इनकी सो कॉल्ड शहजादी के साथ इतना बुरा हो रहा है, 10 साल से प्लेटफॉर्म पे पड़ी है, तो ये क्या तरीका है. तो वहाँ सारे शिया लोग गुस्सा हो रहे थे एंड सो इट वाज थॉट के पॉलिटिकल हॉट पोटैटो ना हो जाए, तो मिसेस गांधी इंटरवीन.
सो हम ये वॉक करके पहुंच चुके हैं यहाँ. आई गेस दिस इज
लेट अस जस्ट स्टॉप हियर एंड टॉक अ लिटिल बिफोर वी गो टू द प्लेस. These people were very strange. They stayed here for 30 plus years. They hated public interaction. They did not want to meet anyone. If anyone tried to enter, they had hung notices on the perimeter walls that anyone who will try to come into the property will be shot dead, gunned down, these kind of innocent little things. So no one came, and therefore the legend grew and grew that why is it that they are like this? What is it that they are hiding? What after all is the whole fuss about? So when questions are not answered, so the psychology works in such a way that it only thinks negatively. And therefore the aura of this family and this place became mysterious, spooky, freakish, sinister and all those adjectives, right? And as I said, they had bloodhounds and they used to let loose these dogs on them. And they used to bite and attack those people who, by mistake, cute. Yeah. If you are intruder, then they are not cute. So this is the photograph of the two children. What?
It's a good picture, whoever took it.
Yeah. I like the pose. Yeah. There's a typical servant with a uniform, and this is Princess Sakina, and that is Prince Cyrus. He used to call himself Cyrus. His name was actually Ali Raza. They have those typical features also, no? So the father was Kashmiri, and so they have a little those Central Asian, Persian, Kashmiri people. This is somewhere here. Somewhere here. So. And they were very arrogant and rude to the staff, or staff as in the guards of the ISRO Earth Station, because they share a common boundary wall. And if they ever tried to come and see कि हम आपकी कुछ मदद कर सकते हैं क्या, तो उनको हमेशा धुतकार के भगा देते थे.
सो गाइस, दिस इज द इनफेमस मालचा महल जो हमारा ग्रुप एंटर करके देखने वाला है. अब आपको भी दिखाऊंगी, पर अंदर अंधेरा है, सो पार्डन मी फॉर दैट. दीज आर द स्टेयर्स व्हिच आर, आई गेस हमें मना किया जाने को ऊपर.
Because she wanted to be in touch with the outer world for her own games. Therefore, the flooring looks very much like the 80s, 90s sort of a thing. Can you see?
Oh yeah, there's so many bats hanging, right? So these are only making the. They're hanging, yeah.
See, let us all back में we'll go there later.
So many bats.
So this is actually a hunting lodge and it is quite bare. It's very basic. And this is also where the artists from the Lalit Kala Academy.
Huh? सो हमारे ऊपर 2000 बैट्स हैं जिनके आप आवाज़ सुन सकते होंगे. आई कैन नॉट टर्न ऑन द फ्लैश लाइट, अदरवाइज मैं दिखाती. आई रियली विश आई कुड शो यू गाइज मेरे सर के ऊपर कैसे 2000 बैट्स हैं जिनकी आप शायद आवाज़ सुन सकते होंगे. बट आई एम टू स्केयर टू टर्न ऑन द फ्लैश लाइट बिकॉज द गाइड इज सेइंग फ्लैश लाइट ऑन करने पे ये सारे अटैक कर देंगे. तो आई टर्न इट ऑफ, बट लिटरली कैन हियर देम. आई गेस 2000 बैट्स हैं मेरे ऊपर अभी, एंड बीज भी हैं. लिटरली मालचा महल में जो फैमिली रहती थी, ये लिटरली हर साइड से ओपन इनका गेट था एंड एवरी ओपनिंग इज लीडिंग टू द जंगल. एंड वो जंगल के बीच में ऐसे महल में रहते थे. खुद ही पूछते भाई.
इंडियन मॉन्यूमेंट्स, some random lovers अपना प्यार जताते हुए एक दूसरे को.
श्रेया माई सिस्टर. एंड श्रेया तेरे को डर लग रहा है क्योंकि हम लिटरली रोशनी में हैं यहाँ पे. बट नाइस यार, एटलीस्ट वी आर एबल टू सी द एंटायर मालचा महल एंड द स्टोरी बिहाइंड इट. सो व्हाट्स एन एक्सपीरियंस. Yeah, a lot of bats. I wish I could show them on the camera, but I cannot. But this is very intriguing and exciting, man. मतलब अगर रात हो रही होती तो फट जाती अच्छे से. यहाँ तक पहुँच ही नहीं पाते. रात को आई गेस अलाउड भी नहीं है कि कोई महल के अंदर तक आ जाए. तो आई थिंक दिस इज द ओनली वे वी कुड सी इट. एंड what if I tell you?
Watched.
Yeah, what if I tell you that we are being watched right now?
It would have been much more scarier if this was night, but in daylight I don't mind being watched.
जो बेगम थी वो 93 में she committed suicide. So said the children. अब why would, so the thing is that it is one-sided story being peddled. The press was called one day by Prince Ali Raza or Cyrus and the daughter Sakina, whose pictures we just saw, and they said we want to break a news to you. So she said, क्या हुआ? कि our mother has committed suicide, and she consumed crushed diamonds and pearls to die. Okay, quite a rich way to die. Instead of consuming मिट्टी का तेल या फिर चूहे की दवाई, she chose a very rich way to die. So all these kind of stories added to that aura, and the haunted element started coming in because again the Begum used to walk on the terrace at night, in the middle of the night, with the moon shining on her back and her hair flying in the air and the sari going in the other direction. So all these guards used to look at her, कौन औरत है जो ऐसे रात के 3 बजे घूम रही है. And then they started telling everyone in Malcha market where they used to go to buy groceries, पता है वहाँ पे कौन रहता है. So that's how the mystery and the freakishness started taking root, and the family in any case was mentally gone.
So this hidden message on the door, it's written Kashmir. Yeah, I can see it on the phone.
And on the second, so that's Kashmir is on the first one. G West.
Oh, Kashmir ghost. ये किसी ने आगे बाद में लिख दिया होगा, हमें कैसे पता.
तो पता है यहाँ पे कई आशिक भी आ जाते हैं, वो ग्राफिटी करते हैं, टिंकू भी लिख देते हैं.
हाँ लिखा था. हाँ.
Maybe one of them. So we also have a look at something.
So we are finally going to the terrace to see what's up there. And let me show you guys. Oh wow. Yeah, वही तो sunset point आ गया ऐसा लग रहा है. Wow. Oh, it's so beautiful right here. यहाँ से ऊपर आए हम एंड कितनी ब्यूटीफुल टेरेस है इस महल की. वाओ, didn't know a place like this exists here in Delhi, and I took a right decision to come here for this walk. Wow. ओके गाइस, छत की एज पे आ चुकी हूँ. नीचे में पूरा जंगल है. यहाँ पे कितना कूड़ा गिरा हुआ है. बट द फ्रीकिंग व्यू, आई मीन वाओ, लेजेंड द सनसेट पॉइंट इट इज यार.
Yeah, so the video got muted here, so here I might just be showing you guys the dogs and the beautiful views. I was showing you all the monuments and the buildings of the central Delhi, and how mesmerizing it was to be on the terrace of Malcha Mahal.
Is it allowed to come here at night?
आप ट्राई करो.
नहीं, मैं ट्राई नहीं कर रही. आप बता दो ना. नहीं अलाउड. कब तक?
अभी ना
7 PM बंद हो जाता है.
अभी आपको विश्वास नहीं होगा, एक दिन वॉक 7:10 तक 7:10 तक चली गई थी तो यहाँ कॉप्स आ गए थे कि आपको अप्रूवल 7 बजे तक कर दिया है तो आप 10 मिनट क्या कर रहे हो एंड ऑल दैट. तो समझाना पड़ा कि कभी कभी हो जाता है 5-10 मिनट ऊपर नीचे.
ओके, सो 7 इज द रेड लाइन, राइट? हाँ, तो बस हमने यहाँ पे सुंदर से व्यू के साथ फोटोज वगैरह खिंचवा लिए हैं एंड सनसेट भी क्या एनहांस हो रहा है. आजा या ये रहा सनसेट भी हमने वो पूरा होते हुए देख लिया है. फोटोज़ भी खिंचवा ली हैं एंड सबको विजिट भी कर दिया है बिकॉज वॉक एंड्स हियर. एंड अब हम, मौसम कितना अच्छा हो रहा है, दोबारा बारिश होगी. बस अब हम वापस जा रहे हैं. सो आई थिंक दिस इज़ द राइट टाइम टू एंड द व्लॉग. एंड इफ़ यू लाइक द व्लॉग and the entire story behind Malcha Mahal, give a thumbs up to the video. Do you want to say something to the viewers? जो यहाँ तक रुक के पूरी जिन्होंने देखी वीडियो उनको दिखा दिया मैंने सनसेट. हाँ, So how was your overall experience of this heritage walk जो भी है? Nice? कुछ और एक्स्ट्रा नहीं बोल सकती, मत बोल. So I guess this is it, and okay, do like, share and comment, and ज़रूर आना. Okay.